Right to everybody. Can everybody hear me? Awesome. Can you hear me on stream? I guess I should open up the Twitch thing. And go to...
It's another game that I just love in person.
Creator dashboard. Not bad. We've got 7,882 followers on Twitch. If you haven't followed us so far, please do so now. We're just doing a little pre-sound check before we send out the general invites and post to Twitter that Chief Chat is in progress. So if you are hearing us just fine, this is sentence A.
This is sentence B.
This is sentence C.
All right, did everybody hear all the moderators in both Twitch and Discord? We simultaneously do a Discord audio stream as well as a Twitch stream. And you should be able to see the chat go by. You'll be able to see what I type too, which is going to be funny. Because if I change my mind on what I'm typing, you'll see it. If I end up typing, I usually don't type during these. Okay, well, we got everybody, so I'm going to send out the everyone notice. So you can see that now. Chief Chat in progress. We'll be going over the vision of the game. Also, more UE5 talk. Okay, and I'm going to tweet this out. And I always forget what our official link is. Oops, no, I don't want to invite. It's been so long. Which option do I need? How do I what's our general Discord link? Discord.gg. Is that what it is? /Em-8er. Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, welcome back to another Chief Chat for Ember. We are streaming this Chief Chat, which we have on Discord, simultaneously to Twitch. No camera today. There are no demos yet because we're still working on that, and we hope to have a new demo drop for you sometime next week, which will be Glider 3, which will be the final thing. Yeah, I haven't gotten my VTuber up and running yet. Right after this chat, though, I'm going to hook up the software and give it a test because it's been weeks since I've had the file. I just have had no time to test out the VTuber avatar. But I'm excited about it. I have to be a lowly dragon VTuber? Is that what it takes now to get people's attention? Well, here on Chief Chat, we do raffles for newcomer packs and things like that, so you can experience and download the demos of the game and also get skins and catch-up packs and things like that. But we also just talk about the game in general, and I thought today, as we were getting closer to Kickstarter, I was working on the sort of the Kickstarter pitch. And I wanted to sort of get an impression from everyone, and I'll do that in a minute, about what they think the game is, which is going to be interesting. And then I'm going to actually read from the vision book and walk you through some of the features. And you guys can sort of like see what we pitched then and what we think would resonate with people, and your feedback would be very helpful. But I thought in the meantime, I would give you a quick update on where we are with Unreal Engine 5. Octonoozled. You can get skins and catch-up packs by participating in the raffles here, or you can sign up as a monthly patron on our website, my.em8er.com. And the mods will post that link. If you would like to become a subscriber, you not only get the skins, you get demos, which are one version behind. And now that we're dropping demos every 1 or 2 weeks, you really get some of the very latest stuff. And our goal is 1,500 subs to implement the heavy frame. And we have the light frame goal cleared. The more subscribers we get, the more we unlock these sort of stretch goals for the playable mockup. The playable mockup is what we will debut during the Kickstarter for backers. And we will have sort of a group thing where we'll have backers, hopefully volunteer backers who are willing to stream the demo. And we have a schedule and we sort of like get that going. And then if people back the Kickstarter, they can also get access to the demo and we can just keep that rolling. So UE5 is we did a stream on it last week, and it was like the day after we had got it. And, you know, we said some things that were untrue on that stream. We said that the download size was massive, and in fact, it is massive. The download size for the development project in UE4 is 105 gigabytes. But it turns out when you package it, one of our community members packaged it, and I verified this, it actually drops down to 25 gigs, so it compresses really well. And then I looked through the Unreal 5 documentation and watched some more videos on Nanite and did some more tests ourselves, and we realized that mesh sizes for large meshes is actually kind of compressed. So what do I mean by that? So for those of you who don't know, there's a couple of main features of Unreal Engine 5, and we're on Unreal Engine 4 right now for Ember. But in Unreal Engine 5, you're supposedly able to render massive amounts of polygons, like infinite amounts of like detail, like millions of polygon meshes can be rendered onto your screen at very reasonable frame rates. And this, for the large part, is very true, and especially for static meshes, things that don't move or deform. And these meshes that contain millions of polygons, what is actually happening, and I got some of this right on stream, and I got some of it wrong. And what's actually happening is that the actual triangles aren't stored. So, if you have a mesh, like a cliff piece, and let's say it's 300,000 polygons, right? Normally, you'd have to store every polygon in the file that contains that. But what UE5 is a little different. It's actually storing images of what those polygons should look like. And it sort of has mip-map levels of detail for those images. So it breaks a mesh up into a bunch of sectors. And those sectors are all like little image maps. And then on the fly, it reconstructs the polygons it needs from the little snapshot images it has. So to do this is very interesting. They don't use the GPU in your computer normally is responsible for turning polygons into pixels on your screen. And it uses hardware to do that that's dedicated to that. But it does it in a very specific way that doesn't work for what Nanite needs to do. The technology for this million polygon stuff is called Nanite, right? And what Unreal Engine 5 is doing is they wrote their own Polygon Rasterizer, what draws the polygon and converts it to pixels on the screen. And they put it into some shaders on the GPU, but they're skipping the whole triangle path on the GPU. So, and they do this because they're reconstructing the mesh, the polygons on the fly. They're not actually taking polygon data. They're taking sort of like little tiny pictures of the mesh that they've taken and reconstructing the polygons on the fly, which is very fascinating. That means the LOD is absolutely smooth because they're reconstructing it and rasterizing, drawing those triangles in real time at the exact size they need it, and no more or no less for the distance you are away. So that's really cool. It also means the way to think about this is, let's say, for those of you, and most people have experience with this now, you take a picture or a screenshot and it's a big file, but you turn it into a JPEG and it compresses it. And that's what it's doing with meshes. And just like with JPEGs, it's lossy, meaning that some information is lost. Not a lot that the human eye would really notice, but the mesh isn't really the mesh anymore. It's sort of like a separate representation, a bunch of little image clusters, and then it's using that to reconstruct the polygons. It's very fascinating. What this means is the mesh size is actually small, and Nanite, and I said on stream that I didn't know if Nanite would be worth it because the file sizes get bigger. That's not true. We later found out that the file sizes, at least at these large sizes, are as large as the old stuff, or as small as the old stuff, or even smaller. So that's I thought that was a very fascinating thing about how that works. So you can't use it on monsters, though. So we wouldn't be able to take our kaiju, because, you know, Ember is about fighting kaiju with your mechs, and it's got a sort of like vibe where it's lots of you guys flying your mechs and your other vehicles versus a giant kaiju, and who would win, that type of thing. Well, since the kaiju is animated and it's soft, it has soft, you know, muscles and things like that, it has to like sort of like bend, right? The model has to bend. It's not made up of hard objects. I'm using very simplified language here to describe concepts in game development. It has to bend and be malleable because it's an animal. It's a living thing. Nanite, you couldn't use nanite and millions of polygons to do that because nanite meshes can't move. They can't. I mean, they can move as a single unit, like as a car would or something like that, but they can't like softly deform like a monster would. So if you're going to use nanite, we wouldn't be able to use it for something like Crotus or one of our kaiju. What we could use it for are the mechs, which is really interesting. So we're doing an experiment right now where we're taking the heavy frame as a sort of test, and we are just piling on detail, right? Or we're going to be piling on detail. Right now it's in the rough block-out form. And because we are modeling it for the movie, but we're not talking about putting it into the game yet. If you help us reach 1,500 subs, we will make the heavy frame, which is like the front mission style frame, you know, or the scale-like frame, or the Titanfall type frame, that sort of vibe, right? We will make that playable, but we have been consistently at around 1,270 subs. We got real close. We got to 1,450 for a while. Then we dropped back down because we ended the dollar sale. That's normal. That's typically what happens. But we crossed the 1,000 threshold permanently. So we used to be stuck at like 970, and then we crossed over 1,000. Now we're at a new plateau of 1,270, and we want to reach 1,500 so we can make the heavy playable, because we're modeling the heavy right now because you guys have unlocked that. But 1,500 is the goal to make it actually playable. So these are the last few months before Kickstarter. So if you can, we'd appreciate it if you could sub so we could put that into the build, because I think people want to see that heavy mech. And we're going to do an Unreal 5 test with that where we are going to just pile on the detail on this frame, right? And now, that doesn't mean the armor is going to be that intricate. There's other ways mechs can have detail, like their joints and things like that. But we're going to see what it can do. And because it's not an animal, doesn't have to softly deform or anything like that, you can do that with nanite meshes in Unreal 5. So, and of course, what we build for the high poly, even if we don't end up using nanite for Unreal 5, we can bake that down to a low poly version of the heavy frame and still use that in game. And you guys know that we're sensitive to frame rate, right? So we want to make sure that, hey, if we do go nanite, that it's not going to tank everyone's frame rates. But what's going to happen with people's graphics cards is interesting. All right, I'll pause here. Any chance of supporting AMD's FSR? We've talked to them about that, and we would like to support it. Yeah, I mean, AMD is an official partner for us, so that's something that we'll be looking at. We don't know how well it's gonna work yet, though. So We're not confirming that Ember is going UE5. We are doing UE5 tests right now. So we are looking at it. Well, let me put it this way. I mentioned this on last stream. Is Ember going to end up on UE5? More than likely, yes. But that doesn't mean we will use UE5 features, because Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5 are really the same engine with some major optional features added, like Nanite for the million poly stuff, Lumen for the real-time ray tracing, global illumination that doesn't need an RTX card, right? And a couple of other things that are really important for open world building, which is great for us because, hey, we're building a giant planet. So, but, we can take advantage of all the bug fixes and everything else and all the support of the continued UE5 engine, but you don't have to use those features, right? We can stay with traditional meshes. We can stay with traditional lighting. And so we're going to be very careful. And one of the first things you're going to see is we're going to try internally. We're going to be taking Ember and we're going to be making it a converting the Unreal 4 Ember project into Unreal 5, and then we're just going to, and not change anything else, right? Leave the terrain the same, the level the same, the meshes the same, the lighting the same, and we're just going to be like, hey, do we get the same FPS? If we get the same FPS, we're good. We know we can at least do that. And then if we reach that stage, then we'll be like, hey, what happens if we throw in a really detailed heavy frame? What does that do to our frame rate, right? And we can do tests like that. So you'll be able to buy this game. I don't think anyone goes to Walmart to buy games anymore. Octonozzle. I hate to break it to you. Physical copies. Those are possible, but those would have to charge sales tax, right? Anything that's a physical copy, you have to charge sales tax for. So I just want to throw that caveat out. If it's digital, then you don't at the moment. Walmart won't sell anything with waifu. That's the other thing. So we have a new CSR skin coming. For those of you who don't know, Cute Sexy Robots is our chief waifu concept artist. And if the moderators could post the link to CSR's forum, it is a not safe for work forum. CSR is a lewd artist, but ours are not. There's no nudity in ours. But you can see that who's doing the skin and that skin will be ready on the 15th. So if you subscribe now, not only do you get the new heavy frame skin. If I might even have that here. Why is it not displaying? I think I have to pull this up. Okay, it's not displaying for some reason. If someone could throw up the current heavy frame skin, please, I would appreciate it. But I'll put these up in Discord. So not only would you get the new heavy frame skin, but you would also get the new CSR skin coming out, and that's just because of how it works out for timing, right? Yep, there we go. And the next skin, we haven't done a waifu skin in a while. So we'll be doing a waifu skin shortly here. And for those of you who don't remember, a while back we did a test where people said, can you capture the CSR look and in your renders? And the answer is, yes, we can. So, we did a test a while back. This is actually on our monthly patron page. So our skins and our characters do get pretty close to what we did with CSR's art. I know someone's going to say it. Where's the cat? Everyone's asked, where's the cat? The cat's coming back. Cat will be UE5. No, just kidding. Cool thing you can do or cool place you can go. I know so little about how PlanetSide is now. It's changed so much. So let's see. Where Vision book, vision book. Where do we put the vision book? There we go. I have the PDF here, and you can get this PDF by becoming a subscriber or a newcomer backer. You get to download this. All right, so I'm going to see if I can stream this so that you guys, so we can go through it point by point. So I'm going to pull up OBS here, and I'm going to hopefully do a window capture here, or actually a browser capture, and we are going to vision book, and oh, I don't think this is going to work. Hang on. I don't want to do that. I want to take that away, and I want to just capture a window. Okay, can you guys see the vision book on screen here? All right, can you guys see it? All right, let me go back to the Twitch channel here so I can see Twitch chat. All right, so this is the vision book, and you can get this book by becoming a, you should be able to see it on Twitch. You can get this by becoming either a monthly backer, a monthly patron, or a newcomer founder. So this is available free download, and this came out with M3, and it's several years old by now. And so the vision book is designed to keep us focused and on track. One critique of Firefall, which an allegation I hotly deny, was that development was changing all the time. And it really wasn't. I had a vision for the game, and the investors had another one. And the tension between the two is why you saw in Firefall development switch around so much. And you can tell because after I left Red 5, they still continued to vastly change the game and the meta of the game. Things like taking out thumping, basically, and taking out alt fires, and changing it to a level-based, WoW-based system instead of tiers. So I wanted to make you guys a promise this time that, hey, the launch meta is going to be what we said it was. So I put it down on paper. Now, that being said, some things do change. And so we're going to find out what those are as we go through the vision book here. All right, so you can see that this was the very first concept piece we did for the game. The very first piece, before we even knew what the game was about. And this is the OG Thumper. And what he looked like back then. And you can see that he's got like the Akira-like, logos on him. That's because Gatestriders, the splinter of humanity that is featured in this game, they're the explorers of the universe. They're the ones that go out, and they used to be sponsored. They used to be sponsored by corporations to find new planets. They used to be sponsored by like racing teams, right? And unfortunately, that ground to a halt when their explorations went too far, and they ended up in a dark sector where they weren't supposed to be, and they got their homeworld destroyed. Well, after that, everyone was scared of having their world destroyed, so they sort of like canceled the Gatestriders, right? They weren't welcome anywhere. And so the Gatestriders had to go find a new homeworld, and that's when they came across Ember. You can see our logo stayed pretty much the same. I think we've dropped the massive Planetary war game tag here, because I don't think people knew what that meant. But that's something that we're debating, is like, hey, if we put MMO, do people think that we are a WoW type game? What should we call ourselves? Which is interesting because things haven't changed. In Firefall, we had the same debate. People debate that about Destiny too. So maybe we should just stop worrying about it and just embrace it. So you can see that the art for our frames have changed. So for those of you who remember the original art. This is the way it used to be. Everyone was like, nice butt and all that. So we kept the waifu aspect. The Thumper is largely the same. I think that he's a little more Gears of War, bulky, massive type right now, versus this sort of more articulate, thinner armed version. But I think it gets the point across. The emoji faceplate is still there. And the book goes into, so this was written in 2019. So you can see that it's a couple years ago. It says copyright 2019. And we set this down as our promise to you, right? So, because one thing I felt really bad about with Firefall fans was the Firefall fans, they backed a beta, which was my vision of the game, and then what shipped after I left was WoW with guns. And so, I wanted to sort of like lay down what is the vision of the game. So there's an introduction here, and it says, in Ember, players are explorers, soldiers, and pioneers. They fight to establish a new homeworld, to mine the planet with thumper mechs, and to build new bases and outposts to extend their reach. Secrets and riches lie in wait, long-lost treasures of an ancient civilization. War rages across the surface as xenomorphs from the world's past rise up against the players. The aliens pit their giant kaiju creatures, augmented into war machines, against humans in their mech suits and huge thumper mining mecha. So none of that has changed. One part that I thought that was different was, I knew there was going to be an ancient civilization on the planet, but I didn't go into it, and I thought I only added that recently, but apparently I'd been thinking about it since the beginning. So I'm glad that that hasn't changed. And we're still piloting mech suits, and we're still calling down thumpers in mining. So that's all good. Oh, the one you downloaded says 17? Okay, so it's been longer than that. Wow, we wrote that a long time ago. Okay. Thank you for staying with us this whole time. It has been hard with a part-time team, with COVID and everything else. And we also we went to a multiplayer demo instead of a single-player demo. All right, so what is a massive planetary warfare? The heart of Ember are the grand invasions and counter-invasions that rage across the planet. Fought in huge PvE battles across large outdoor areas, Ember is a massive, persistent battlefield. Zones must be captured, terraformed, and defended against a ruthless invading army of shape-shifting aliens and their giant kaiju creatures. Players must also terraform pockets of the planet, establishing new colonies and bases to advance the state of the world and technology available to the players. The enemy Tsihu shapeshifters likewise invade and attack in an attempt to destroy the player's advances and progress. So that hasn't changed at all. Yes, Octonoodle, this game isn't WoW. It plays very differently, but it is massively multiplayer. We're not talking about 4-player instances. There's, we've had in the current demo, we've had up to 100 players in a zone at a time so far. So yeah, nothing's changed. This is an invasion game. This is about a war that's sweeping across the planet that you're caught up in, and you pilot Omniframes. Players pilot Omniframes, lightweight mechs that are fast and agile and can jump jet, skim, and glide over long distances. Okay, all the same. Omniframes are needed to battle the strong and fierce kaiju that attack regularly, being the only thing that can protect a human from being shredded or bitten in half instantly. Yeah, the Tsihu are big. The Tsihu are easily twice as tall as a human. And if you're not wearing a mech suit, you are fodder for them. So people often ask me, can you run around as a human? Yes, you can. You can do so in the hub, which is sort of like the central orbital space station, also called home in the book. And you can also leave your mech suit, or if your mech is destroyed, you will be in pilot form, and you will have a light weapon that you have to survive with. And so you can be out of your frame, and you can also voluntarily leave your frame. Is there specific out of frame content? Not yet. Maybe we'll do something for that after lunch. Tomix 1199 asks, will we get awesome bikes like in Firefall? I miss my founder bike. Unfortunately, we don't have bikes. We do have mounts. There were bikes available, unique as a unique M3 backer reward, that are like the bikes in Firefall that function as a mount. And mounts and bikes will work with your light frame. So, just so we don't feel too left out, we do have some bikes available, and we can do a raffle right now for them. I'd say we do a dollar pack here, and we'll do a couple more along the way. But Ronan, let's go ahead and do a dollar pack, and that's a good chance for me to take a quick break here and get something to drink because there's a lot of reading here.
All right, we're going to do a dollar pack, a raffle for a dollar pack. So some time ago, we had something called Milestone 3. That is when we did our third fundraiser for Ember. It was pretty awesome. We had this idea that we would ask for a certain amount of money from you, the community members, and you know, give away, basically set up, we set up our goals for that number. Well, you guys were like, yeah, we're going to crush that number. So we went ahead and said, all right, let's offer more. Then you crushed that number. And we're like, okay. And then you did it again, and then again, and again. So we started saying, you know what? Let's do a thing to get more people. Let's say if they offer just a single dollar, if they put in just a single dollar, we will give them a bunch of stretch goals. And then you guys crushed that stretch goal. So we then added another one, and then another one, and I went crazy. And so eventually, as you can see on the graphic that Faye has posted there, we had about a zillion stretch goals that you get just from that $1. Okay? But here's the thing. Milestone 3 was, well, that was a while ago. It's gone. It's dead. It's finished. You can't get in there anymore. Luckily, one of our community members had the foresight to say, you know what, I'm going to get a bunch of these. That way we can give them away later. And that's what we're about to do right now. Thanks to Maven, we have a bunch of these packs to give out. So we're going to try it right now. So Faye, if you would, go ahead and throw up a raffle for a $1 pack. And remember, folks, the dollar packs get you a bunch of stretch goals, but they do not get you a copy of the game, and they do not let you play the demos. Luckily, you can upgrade your pack to get access to all the cool stuff, as well as a bunch of things you cannot get anymore. So Faye, when you're ready, take it away.
All right, you guys ready? Get your mouse clicks ready for the pencil emoji. Your marks. Get set. Click. Yes, if you win the $1 club pack and you upgrade it to a minimum of the scout pack, you will receive the Python bike skin, which is a single-seater, as a thank you for upgrading. Hey, congratulations, Dark Flash.
All right. Grumps, back to you. He may not be back yet. I guess while he's gone, I should tell secrets about Ember development. What do you guys want to know? Who's addicted to crack? No one. At least not on this team. Not currently, anyway. There's even more naval than you know about. When was Darla Cult founded? Basically, the day she became a thing, the cult began. And it happened all by itself. Like it was like a mystical moment. Will we get a giant multi-barrel assault cannon? I'm not sure I know what that is, but if maybe you draw me a picture, I might be able to answer that question. Will there be an NPC who deep strikes a lot? I mean, well, I am able to make my own NPC, so probably yes.
How many am back.
Like? Hey, welcome back. Right before all the juicy secrets came out.
What will your deep strike NPC look like?
You know, I haven't decided. I've got a few different ideas.
Will there be cod pieces involved?
I try to keep that stuff under wraps. You know, you don't want to show too much of what's coming. You got to save it for later.
Did we do the raffle? Who won?
Yeah, we did a raffle. It was, let me make sure I see who that was. Dark Flash. Dark Flash won the raffle.
Okay. Who was asking about the bike?
Who was that?
That was Tomix 1199. Tomix, are you in our Discord? Because to participate in these raffles, you was. Okay, hop back in, because we're going to do 2 more dollar packs. Maybe you'll get lucky. That way you can get the bike. Maybe. No guarantees. It's up to the RNG gods. But we do special stuff with RNG in-game that favors the players. So maybe that luck will rub off on you. All right, let's do them rapid fire. 2 more packs.
2 more packs. Faye, go for it.
All right. You guys ready? I'm going to make sure Tomix is in here. Are you in here, Tomix?
We're all rooting for you, Tomix. And by the way, if one of you has won a dollar pack and it already has those perks, maybe Tomix will buy it from you. No, just kidding. well, Ember bot bidding is a feature we need. No. Auction it off. That's terrible of me. Anyways, we'll see.
Nobody heard that. You heard nothing.
All right, everybody's in here. Get your clicks ready. You're going to click on the pencil emoji. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, click. Only on Emberbot sentence. There you go. Ten seconds.
I'm going to try to be clever here and put Discord off to the side.
Signa, congratulations. You win a dollar pack. Please send me a private message right away. Let me know your Ember ID, and of course mention that you won a dollar pack. Was there one more, Faye? Is there one more?
I think there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on, Tomix. Or 2mix.
Right, everybody get ready. Set. Click.
Signa, if you won, you definitely want to let Ronan know.
Andrikos. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And Tomix, stick around. I'm sure we'll do more dollar packs through the stream. Make sure if you won a raffle to send a message to Ronan so he can credit your account immediately. Well, within a day. Catch-up packs take a while.
I was going to say immediately. Uh-oh.
Please give Ronan some time. But he can't do it unless you message him, so make sure you message him. All right, so we're continuing through the Vision book, talking about what stayed the same, what's changed. And we just talked about how Ember is a massive planetary warfare game, and now we're on the Omniframe sections. Yes, you're still piloting light, medium, and heavy frames. And Darton, that's funny. Trade a dollar pack for an Archon pack. World goals. So the goals in Ember are both individual and shared. Shared goals give the players a common focus for the war and world tasks to complete together. The main group goal in Ember is to terraform all the zones and build and defend all the bases. Players open up new terraforming pockets and must mine and collect resources to build the bases and machinery that will transform the zone from a frozen wasteland to a lush biome. The more land that is terraformed and mined, the higher the tiers of technology unlocked and available to all players. There is no limit to the number of tiers. New zones and new tiers are released with each episodic update of the game. So basically the idea is that you're making a planet bigger and bigger. You are biggest planetus. You are basically going out there and you are taking zones and you are expanding them, pushing back the terraforming walls. And when it reaches a certain state, and you're donating resources to the terraformers that you deploy in the regions, biggest mechas. Thank you, Motorhouse. And you know, and I want to emphasize that the terraforming is not deformation of the terrain. It is really just a state, and there's levels, just like 3 or 4 levels of terraforming. Once you've put in enough resources, there will be a message that says, hey, this, you know, the terraformers are about to unleash unholy energy upon the zone and transform it. Please leave now. You will leave the zone. The terraformers will do their thing, and then when the zone is back up and available, you'll come back in, and it will be transformed. So it will look different and reach its terraformed state. And there's different biomes, because we don't want just everything to be frozen, snowy wasteland, right? The idea is to transform it into a home planet. All right, so that's the main world goal, and it affects something called the world tier, which we'll talk about later. So unlocking tiers. There is no leveling in Ember. Instead, leveling there is not in Ember. Instead, advancement is more about player options. So you can increase what abilities are available to your mech. Everything is crafted in the game. You can research additional technology, unlock higher tiers of gear, and develop your Omniframe's abilities, weapons, and armors as you see fit as you progress both individually and as you advance the world state. So there is a world tech state, and there is an individual tech state. There's your own personal research, and then the maximum tier achievable in the game is determined by the world state. And as the game continues and as we release expansions to it, we will expand the tiers and expand the world. All right, scrolling back up. And again, if you're interested in this vision book, it is available as any backer. Just go to our download site on my.ember.com. It's there for you. If you can be a subscriber or a newcomer pack and get this too. Bakasiro says, I've been watching so much of a certain YouTuber that I can no longer hear Yoda impressions without thinking, drive forklift into building, I must. Okay, I'm missing a great channel, obviously, because I don't know what that reference is. Base building. Building bases is important to the goal of terraforming a zone and defending it from invading kaiju. The more bases are built, the faster zones can be terraformed. Lose bases to kaiju, and your terraforming will slow or even revert back to an earlier phase. Bases also serve as refineries for gathered resources, defense points, etc., yada, yada, yada. So yeah, you got to build bases, and the way that bases are built are RTS-like, and I'll go into that later. That hasn't changed. All this stuff, the vision has not changed. I want to point that out. Details have changed. The way the mech frames look have changed. But the meta and our vision has not. Crafting. Everything is crafted by players in Ember. While not fighting in invasions, players are out mining resources with their Thumper mecha. Mining is not a passive activity, but a hectic battle. As the Thumper mines, swarms of smaller kaiju with their Tsihu alien masters attack in waves. The more you can withstand, the longer your Thumper can mine, and the rarer the resources that are acquired. Push it too far, and you can lose both the Thumper and its resources, as an encounter designed to push and reward the skills of players. We're currently working on the Thumper encounter. We don't know if it's fun yet. So stuff is in flux on that. Some people have pointed out, hey, originally the Thumper was supposed to be escorted back. Right now it's picked up. And originally the Thumper was going to collect the resources, and now the players are collecting the resources. And that's true. And we did that for certain reasons that we anticipated about getting you guys on the ground and increasing the risk of combat a little more. But that is subject to change. But the Thumper encounter is still the Thumper encounter. It is a resource gathering activity. That part has not changed. But we do reserve the right to change some of the details of the gameplay to make it play more fun. And I think that's in everyone's interest, right? So keep in mind the vision book is about the scope and the meta of the game. The details are always subject to change. Rewarding skill. Players can succeed well enough by crafting and building frames and bases, but players who want to test themselves can use their skills to maximize their abilities. The Thumper encounter is designed to reward skill by granting rare resources for pushing the limits. So the better you are at action-oriented shooter combat or using abilities, or in your support role, if you prefer less twitchy means of playing, then the better you'll do in these encounters. And that's still there. Octonoozle, Mr. Grumps, will there be an octopus kaiju at any time in the future? Well, how can I say no when your name is Octonoozle? Like, if I were... But how can I also promise something so bold and yet so brave? I don't know. Well, I do know. I have an idea for something. I don't know if it's going to be an octopus, but it might be something you'd enjoy just based off your name.
So you're saying tentacles confirmed?
Do we not have waifu?
So you're saying you can't have one without the other?
I'm saying nothing. You're putting words in my mouth right now. That's all I'm saying. It's I'm saying nothing. I'm just making vague hmms and ha's and reacting to what people are saying about Octopus Kaiju. All right. So, episodic. Ember is episodic in story, gameplay, and world. Regular updates will give the players access to new areas to terraform and fight over. These zones will include new resources and bring new tiers to unlock to expand the crafting abilities of weapons in the game. Some updates will, if the game is successful, include releasing vehicles like aircraft and tanks and larger mechs to fight against new kaiju. So far, nothing has changed. I'm very pleased so far that, because we were worried, it's like, this doc was written some time ago. Did we change stuff? Did we keep our promise? And I think we have. I mean, we've talked about the episodic nature of the game. We've talked about, there being more vehicles unlocked. We've talked about things like giant mecha being a possibility. So all that stuff was there. It was all there in the beginning, right there, spelled out in black and white. Our promise to you. Backstory and lore. Okay, there's a lot of lore here, and not a lot of it is relevant to the game. A lot of it talks about, this first half talks about the Inshigi. The universe takes place in an alternate reality. The alternate reality is the Axis powers win World War II, and that's a problem. They start going to town and being really evil. So the people fight back. The resistance fight back and wins, and they install a government called the Inshigi, which is based on, rather than leaders who play upon the emotions of the populace to drive them to do things that may not be good. They said that we must abandon emotion altogether, and all decisions must be made by science and fact only. And this is before any of this political stuff was happening. So it was kind of prescient that I was writing this before any of this happened, right? And now these themes are like prevalent. And so rereading this is really weird because it's like, oh, geez, I see some parallels here. And I don't like to talk politics, right? Except on I used to talk politics on Twitter. I don't do that anymore. But the Inshigi rise to power with the will of the people, and they are based on rational decisions. But unfortunately, rational decisions driven by numbers do not take human feelings into account, right? And so what happens is the Inshigi end up being very oppressive just by the virtue of the fact that the science is the only thing that they will follow. And the people end up being just as abused under this form of government than the Axis, when Japan and Germany were ruling the world in this alternate history. So the Inshigi were facing a revolt, a popular revolt by the people, and they actually were more technologically advanced. They had kept a lot of technology from the rest of humanity for themselves, and they had actually found a way to get into space. And so they escaped. They sent part of their population into space to escape, and the rest of them, gave up their lives. Basically, there was a huge genocide, and the Inshigi people were really mad, and they wiped them out. Okay, and they knew this. The Inshigi that stayed behind, because they're very rational, right? They knew that some of us will go and go on, and the rest of us will give our lives, and to this, so that part of our population can escape. So once people found out that the Inshigi were able to to travel through space and go to another planet, they freaked out, and this led to a huge space race where the rest of humanity was forced to travel into space in order to keep up with the Inshigi, because they were so worried, because they had basically wiped out the Inshigi. They were so worried about revenge that they didn't want to be caught off guard like that again. So all these nations, they banded together, and there was a huge space race to get into space. And this is how humans left the planet Earth and started colonizing. And there's no faster than light travel, so this was all at low speeds, and many colonies were founded. And there's 28 colonies that were founded by humanity. And nobody heard from the Inshigi again for a long time. And these colonies, they were separated by many, many light years. There's no faster than light travel, but there was faster than light communication. They could talk to each other. They actually had an internet that sort of connected them, but that's about it. All right. So then faster than light travel was discovered with gates. And gates are something that you construct that form basically, you know, their wormhole part. Kerbonaut's asking me about the speed of light. If I have a science error there, Kerbonaut, send me a DM. Let me know, and I'll consider revising it. Sometimes I do hand wave physics for the sake of science fiction. But that's a detail I don't want to address right now. But send me a DM if I have the science wrong, and I'll see what I can do. All right. So after the discovery of gates, D-ship gates were created, and people were able to travel to each other, explore other planets. And these 28 colonies all diverged, right? So humanity splintered up. One is the Gate Striders and their homeworld. That's one colony. But there's different kinds, right? And they're not covered in the video game, but some of them are. Like there's a Neko race, right? And called Fellies. We call them Fellies, short for felines. And they're human-cat hybrids. Yes, I know. Can't have space exploration without human-cat hybrids. Elon Musk says it must be so, right? So it's going to happen. And they are in Ember, and they're mentioned in the novel. And that's one of the colonies that was founded. There's 28 varieties of humans, and they all diverge in different ways. And Gate Striders are one of them. And to survive their harsh planet, their original homeworld, which had higher gravity and a bunch of other things, they became specialists in robotics and mechs to help them survive. And that's their expertise. But then, you know, people heard from the Inshigi, and the Inshigi said, hey, we're going to leave you alone, but there's these areas of space that you're not allowed to explore now that you have faster than light travel, right? You're not allowed to explore these areas. And they gave everyone a list of coordinates. Well, one of the Gate Striders ended up there, Sildara Garrick, and she decided to push her luck and explore one of these dark sectors. And what happened was the Inshigi reached out and through means unknown but contemplated, destroyed their star, and with that the planet itself. And the Gate Strider, and suddenly the Inshigi, which had been sort of like a legend for hundreds of years, were suddenly a very real threat, and everyone was freaking out, and they canceled the Gate Striders. They said, we're not going to rely on you anymore. You're on your own. And so the Gate Striders went out, and they were desperately seeking a homeworld, running out of resources. They put together what they had left of their civilization into a giant space station called Home, and they constructed D-gates to create wormholes to find places, and this is their last chance. Ember is their last chance. They're on their last resources. It's either they make it here or they don't make it anywhere. So those are the stakes for the players. That's you guys. And then, of course, they met the Sihu. There's a little bit of a debate going on Twitch right now. I'm just trying to catch the gist of it here. Little Siberian Bear has some sort of point he's trying to make about, you know, far-reaching concepts and, you know, all this sort of stuff. Talking about the industry, banning aggressive naval, shunning sexuality. A lot of blackpilling going on, little Siberian bear. I like to think that we're a point of light where we are fine with aggressive naval, and you know we are definitely waifus, and we're trying to keep the scope realistic, right? We're not promising you a gigantic MMO with all this stuff. We're saying, hey, we're going to launch with a handful of zones for the world to expand in, and these are the two major aspects you can do. You can go thump and mine for resources and craft, and you can build bases, and you can sit there and you can fight in giant PlanetSide 2 style battles against NPC AIs. And then if that goes well, we do hope to add more vehicles, giant mechs, things like this, and more content as we go on. So have hope, and we are also directly available from our website. So, you know, if for some reason waifus are on the outs on Steam or whatever, then we will find a way to serve you directly from our website for your waifu needs. All right. So yes, then they meet the Tsihu and the war starts. And if you want to know how the war starts, that's where the novel comes in. We have a lot of lore in this game that's in the background, and as stretch goals, I think for the Kickstarter, I'd like to get more story into the game itself. But if you'd like to read that, the first 7 chapters are available for free. That's right, for free on our website. Just go to the download sections after creating your account, and you can read about first contact with the Tsihu and how that worked out. Some of the story details have changed with how first contact happened, because the novel was written after the Vision book, and it was just better for the story. Okay, so invasions. So it talks about, this is war as a simulation, right? The Tsihu are NPCs controlled by the server AI. They wage war not by script, but by AI in simulations like an RTS. Basically, now we talk about how there's like an AI general that's going to guide them. The Tsihu are driven by goals to capture territory and destroy human bases and disrupt human mining activity. They choose targets based on threat and strategic value. The more bases they destroy, the stronger they get, using them as staging areas for more attacks. When Tsihus destroy a base, they start to build their own structures. These serve as additional spawn points for the Tsihu, and if they build up, give them the ability to open a time breach large enough to spawn bigger and bigger kaiju. So some stuff has changed with the origin of the Tsihu, and you're going to read that in the next chapter of the book. They're not from the same planet. It used to be that they were basically time imprisoned on this same planet, but that's not the case anymore. They are from a different planet, a planet that evolved with kaiju, and how they had to learn to master that. If the Tsihu manage to take over an entire zone, they will become very entrenched and hard to displace. This is the initial starting state of the game, as players will have to clear out Tsihu from existing zones before they can move in and start terraforming. Go ahead.
Can I just say, I like the change to them not being from that planet anymore, because it honestly made me feel kind of like an a-hole coming down to their land, being like, I'm gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? So it feels a little better that it's not their planet either. You know,
this land be ours now.
Right? It feels pretty messed up. I'm like, are we the bad guys? Like, what's happening? So.
Yeah, I think that was bothering some people too, and I think it reads better this way, and it's better for the story too. So that did change. We did change some of the lore. Bases. Bases are the focus of attacks in invasions. Players must build up fortifications. Fortifications? What? No, that's the wrong type of game. Fortifications and buildings that let them... This isn't subspace. That let them grow stronger and take over more territory. The Tsihu also build bases and can do so very rapidly, as they merely have to phase in the buildings from their own time/world. Human bases are built up over days and need protection as they do so. All right, this is the aspect we really have to emphasize in the Kickstarter, because you don't see it in the demo, right? Because honestly, if we had base building and everything, the game would be done, right? We want the Kickstarter so we can do base buildings, that we can do these battles over bases. So we will show that in the movie. We will talk about it in the movie, combination of mock-ups in Unreal Engine as well as some concept art. But the demo itself is going to be centered around the concept. So for those of you streaming the demo during the Kickstarter, I think it's very important for you guys to talk about how you're just doing one tiny encounter of the game, one aspect of the game, and that the game is really about this other stuff. And I hope that our movie and everything and our marketing materials emphasize the planetary warfare aspect of the game. All right. Duration and frequency. Invasions are always occurring as long as there are sufficient players online. With only short breaks between incursions, this splits the player activity between fighting invasions or going to zones not under attack to mine resources to fuel the war effort. This is still true. I've talked about this before. There's two main activities in Ember. Either you go out and you are fighting invasions, or you are invading zones that are currently occupied by the Tsihu and beating them back with a big stick. Or you are going to a zone that's not under attack, and you are mining, you are building up bases, you are contributing to the terraforming effort. And the aspect that we've talked about here is that the resources that you mine can be used to help the ones under attack and invasions. And it's alluded to here. So I think I had the idea even back there. When you read the sentence, to mine for resources to fuel the war effort, we actually have a logistics mechanic now that we're contemplating where there is a way to convoy resources into war zones in order to give the players their buffs during an invasion scenario. A zone under invasion cannot be mined as all available thumpers are pressed into battle. The more players are online, the more zones that will be simultaneously under attack. Yep, all true. All same. Losing battles. Consequences. Losing bases and entire zones has a direct impact on all players. Losing bases slows down research times, base building times, and terraforming rates. Losing an entire zone will revert its terraforming to a prior state, so you can fall back to a frozen wasteland. And as the Tsihu work to bring it back up to their own native conditions. Well, that's not what they're doing anymore. The reason for why they're doing that isn't the same, but the mechanic is the same. Hypnoidal asks, I hope I'm saying that right. Hypnoidal asks, hey Grums, I remember you hearing you talk about a guy named Alan in your original Vanilla WoW team. Have you ever thought about hiring him for Ember? Alan Adham is one of the 3 founders of Blizzard, and probably the best game designer I've ever known. He is not available to us. Let's just say that. Great guy though. So
while you're at it, can we bring on Shigeru Miyamoto and maybe Hideo Kojima?
Can you imagine the fights that would occur?
It would be terrible.
Can you imagine? Like, they're so different. Their styles are so different. Kojima would be like, we need to stick a baby in there somewhere. And everyone would be like, what?
We don't need too many giants in the same room. We have one. One is enough. I think one is good.
Yeah, that would be so funny. Someone should make a YouTube video about what if those 3 designers got together and tried to make a game together, and how ridiculous would that end up being. So Atreon asks, can zones be progressed to the highest level, or do zones have a range of tiers that are somehow tied to the zones themselves? Zones have their individual terraforming tier, and the number of bases that players have established on them, because there's different... Oh, I'm going to use the word. You're going to make me use the word. There are nodes in zones. Now everyone's going to be like, oh no, Ashes of Creation's doing that. You copied them. Well, this document's older than them. There are places where you can build bases. And I've been watching more videos on Ashes of Creation. It's a different audience, right? That's a fantasy audience. I'm not, and they don't want full shooter combat. You know, I don't think there's going to be a real conflict there. But for anybody who says, "Oh, this sounds like the Ashes of Creation system," yes, it does. But we came up with this independently, and we announced it before they did. So, depending on how you build up your bases and how much resources you've donated to terraform the zone, that will determine the zone's tier. But it doesn't drive. There's no individual tech tier for a zone. It all feeds up into like a total score that tells you what the highest tech tier is that can be unlocked for all players. So they all kind of bubble up, and we don't know what the scoring system is going to work like yet. So for those of you who have been following the project for a while, or for those of you who are new, is any of this a surprise to you? Like that this is the way that the meta of the game plays? How many of you thought this would be like, wow? How many of you are like, no, this is pretty much what I read and expected, and this is the reason I'm here? Halo Wars? Yeah. The base building works a lot like Halo Wars. Octonozzle said, I thought it was WoW, but I'm glad it isn't. Yes, I don't want to make WoW again. Ah, glad you can. Glad it's becoming clear. Geyser God says, expected a few changes, but basically what I thought it would be. Yeah, I think the details changed, but the overall theme is still there. That's what I want to emphasize. The scope, particularly the scope. Changing a detail, like if a thumper is a pickup or an escort, that's a small change. Changing, we're not a base building game anymore. We're not a terraforming. We're not about zone expansion anymore. We're not about invasions. That's the type of change you gotta be like, oh shit. We're not doing that. I'm very pleased reading the doc. I haven't read this in a long time. That we're very similar. All right, I think. So Bakasura says, I've been here expecting a sort of planet-side gameplay with Monster Hunter progression. I guess it kind of is like that, because you do get resources from killing kaiju that you can research to unlock different and more advanced technology. Will the tech advances mostly be for mechs, or will there be advances for the pilot as well, Valora asks. Right now it's for the mechs, their weapons and abilities, and the vehicles. The pilots, I'm contemplating a more pilot-centric thing, and this is not a commitment to anything, but I'd sort of like, I really like our characters, right? How they came out, how they're looking, everything else. The women are feminine. The men are feminine and masculine. I'm thinking about giving pilots some sort of like edge, right? Like, maybe it's not a full-blown progression system for pilots, but there's like an edge system where you can have some advantages, disadvantages that carry over to your piloting abilities in some way. Oh, thanks, Giga, getting me into trouble. No, we are not confirming full pilot progression. But you know how every mecha anime, the protagonist has some sort of edge or power, like new types in Gundam, right? So I'm thinking flavor-wise, maybe that'd be a little cool. Maybe there's something we could do. Plot armor.
Plot armor. Oh my god.
It's the ultimate perk.
Level 5 plot armor. Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we've got to have that as an achievement somewhere. Like if you're like plot armor achievement unlocked. That is hilarious. Thank you for that, Tomix. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. I'm sneaking that in as an Easter egg somewhere in the game. There's going to be plot armor. This is some secret craftable.
That is wonderful.
Or if you max out everything, you get the plot armor achievement. Or if you survive without dying for X number of times. If you play hardcore mode or something. That's so funny. Gun damn it. All right, so bases. I talk about how bases, each zone has several locations with strategic import. There may be up to a dozen of these locations each zone. I think there's going to be fewer. The bases are big, right? And as I started laying out terrain, I realized that we couldn't support a dozen bases within one zone. I think there might be like 2 or 3. And the zones are large. The zones are going to have to be like 8-kilometer zones. They're going to have to be big to support bases, just like they do in Planetary. By pooling resources, players can establish a base as founders. Once players have gathered enough resources, the players trigger the drop-down of a nexus. The nexus building unfolds from a special crate. As it builds and unfolds, it will invite attacks from nearby Tsihu. If the nexus drop is successfully defended, it unfolds completely and an initial foothold will be established. That's interesting. I totally forgot about the nexus. Expanding bases. Much like an RTS, bases can be expanded with different buildings and structures. Each building confers new benefits to nearby players or to the whole zone. Expansion requires resources. Most of the time, these resources are beyond the ability of a single player to provide. Instead, players can pool their resources into different building goals for the base. Players can see which goals are available, what contributions have been made, how close they are to completing the goals, and can contribute resources towards one or more goals of their choice. Players are actually voting with resources for what buildings they would like to see completed or upgraded first. In addition to building goals, each base has a set of specific goals related to the type and nature of the buildings it encompasses. There might be damage repair, research, etc. And I lay out examples of building types here. Now it does say the final list depends on further design, but we have things like buildings like a deep scan array, which is a surveying station that extends the range of discovery of resources nearby. A refinery that allows you to manipulate resources and combine them in various ways. For those of you who remember the Firefall crafting system, you had to blend resources. That will be back in advanced crafting. Terraforming stations. Terraforming stations are massive floating structures that transform the atmosphere nearby and perform other functions to make surround. Yeah, so basically you feed resources to terraformers. That hasn't changed. Omniframe hangar. Hangars serve as the nearest place for players to store and browse their Omniframe. Omniframes are delivered via dropship from the closest base with the hangar, and hangars are where players can repair, craft, and outfit their frames. That hasn't changed. Thumper hangar. This is where your thumpers are kept. Okay. Tactical sensor array. Shows enemy activity nearby. Okay. Supply depots. Hey, StarCraft fans. Allows players to store their resources and other items too numerous to carry. Repair depot. Accelerates all repairs within a certain distance. Turrets. This is the general name for any kind of defensive weaponry the base might have. Buildings have hardpoints where players can deploy a variety of weapon systems to fortify their base against alien attack. Yeah, that's still going to happen. Research labs. Yes, that's still going to happen. Data centers for hacking and extracting info from alien computers and bots. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I don't know if, because they're not really technologically based. I mean, they're sort of like bioorganic, and they use kaiju. They're more like hunters than they are stuff. Even though their stuff is sci-fi and they're firing plasma bolts and stuff. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's any computers to hack into. Maybe it'll be like we'll take a page from Pacific Rim and we'll do deep dive into kaiju brains or something. If we did keep that around, maybe we'd do something like that. But I don't know what that means anymore. So not promising data centers. Orbital Com Tower, another nod to Firefall. Construction of an orbital com tower allows the use of call downs from orbiting starships for strikes on the ground, useful against larger kaiju and swarms of smaller ones. Okay. Reactor provides additional energy for powering buildings and weapon systems. Yeah, I think we're still going to have a reactor. Shield generator, a protective shield that prevents Tsihu from kaiju from damaging stuff. Dropship pad enables fast travel. Yep, still going to have that. And yep, this is one of our mini kaiju fighting your thumper here. This is actually in the book. It's a full spread image. It's like a kaiju centerfold, really. And then we talk about terraforming. Why terraforming? It advances the world tier. Then we talk about mining. That hasn't changed much. Then we talk about frames. But before I go on, I think you guys have been very patient, been with us for a long time now. It is time to do another raffle. But so far, how are you guys liking the romp through the vision book? Is it helpful? Is it illuminating? Very. Kavas Masta says. Yeah, I figure a lot of people don't have time to read this stuff even if they have the book, so it's better to describe. All right. So, I think I would like to do another dollar pack and another newcomer pack. And let's see if some of our new members get lucky, Ronan.
All right, so we're going to do a dollar pack and a newcomer pack. Excellent. Let me check and see if we've got any new people since our last raffle. No, looks like we're good to go. Okay, let's freaking do it. Let's start with the dollar pack, Faye. When you're ready, just unleash it.
All right. Y'all ready? Get set. Click.
All right, we are doing raffles in our Discord. If you have not joined our Discord yet, this would be a good time to do so. If you have not followed us on Twitch for these streams, please do so now so you can be notified when the next stream is. Whiskcake says, I feel there needs to be more content added, but for the start of the game, it will suffice. Yes, Whiskcake, that is our feeling as well. Let's start with a core, like Elite Dangerous, and let's build out from there.
Super Saiya! Congratulations, you win a dollar pack. What you're going to do, send me a private message right away. Let me know that you won one. Give me your Ember ID that you use on myember.com, and we'll make sure you get that there dollar pack. Congrats.
Now, Mo, you did miss the part where we talk about Unreal 5. I'll do a recap here after this raffle. But right now we're in Discord, and you have a chance to win stuff. So hop on over to the Discord and join us there, please.
Excellent. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this. Let's do a Forerunner.
Okay. Put up the graphic again with it so those that didn't get to see it can see it.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah, if people want to say stuff, they can say it in Twitch. The raffle is where you can't say stuff because it scrolls off the screen. So no chat in Discord during the raffle, but if you want to chat in Twitch, I'm reading it.
Ready. You mark it set. Click.
Whiskcake, I missed the Samsu waifu. It's the next big art craze, right? How did it start? No typing in Discord. You could type in Twitch, though. Yeah, as soon as you make a waifu out of anything popular, it just blows up.
Congratulations to System.
That's right. System, you know what to do. Send me a private message right away. Let me know that you won this here Forerunner pack, and give me your Ember ID that you use on myember.com.
Congratulations. System. Interesting name. All right, was that the 2 raffles?
Yes, sir. It's back to you.
All right, we'll do a couple more here, but I want to get back to the Vision Book. The Vision Book outlines everything that we're aiming for the launch of the game. And keep in mind, we want to launch with a core and build off of that. So what we're describing is the core of the game right now. Right now we're on the OmniFrame section. We covered base building, we covered terraforming, we covered the general meta of the game, expanding the world over time. We talked about the military simulation, the invasion system of the game. And I'm pleased to see that that hasn't changed. Everything we've talked about in all recent streams and everything that's been laid out in the Vision Book a couple years ago hasn't changed. That's a good thing. OmniFrames are a classless design. They're absolutely tasteless. No, just kidding. There are no classes in Ember. Basically, instead of confining players to classes, Ember lets players define their own role. Players start by selecting one of the 3 frame types, variants, light, medium, or heavy. There's a common pool of crafted upgrades and components shared by all frames, as well as collections of upgrades and components that are exclusive to each frame type. Building an OmniFrame may remind players loosely of building a small deck for a collectible card game. I don't know if that analogy is so true, because it's like you're only holding 3 cards, right? Because there's only a handful of abilities that you can slot at any time. But I guess in that way, it's true. Light frames. Light frames can be tailored for support roles such as healing, engineering, stealth, and recon. Medium frames range from general-purpose assault roles to range roles suited for frontline duties. Heavy frames specialize in heavy armor, high-energy weapons, and artillery. Okay, that hasn't changed. Boy, the art has changed, though. We need to update the art in the Vision book. I mean, that's supposed to be the medium frame, and the medium frame don't look like that anymore. In fact, the medium frame doesn't even look like what's in the current game. It looks completely different. We're doing an art pass on the game right now, and the medium frame looks like this, or will look like this. So, similar in concept, different in execution, but you can sort of compare that art. You can see the different style there. A little more traditional mech, channeling a little more of the mech energy. What's also very different is the light frame. The light frame was going to be, I don't know if there's a picture of that. The light frame was going to be something that looked just like the medium frame, but with less armor. But instead, we wanted to channel Firefall fans, and the light frame now looks like this, which is a very different look. Likewise, the heavy frame was just going to be this same size frame with heavier armor, but we are changing it to be a lot more like a front mission style mech, a lot more like a traditional mech, Eureka 7 shield surfing style thing. That's what we're going for. I think these are improvements. There's charm to the original design. You know, I do miss certain aspects of it. But we had a lot of user feedback, and you know, we were really trying to fulfill a range of mecha fantasies, and some of the feedback was it's not Firefall enough, and some of the feedback was it's not mech enough. So what do? We made the light more Firefall, and we made the heavy more mecha. So that's what we did. That's how we solved that problem, based on your feedback. Movement. Okay, something has changed here. There is no longer a skim mode. We used to have a skim mode, where it was like a travel mode where you could sprout wings and glide across the ground. But we changed gliding so that you can pretty much self-launch. Here in the book it says you can't self-launch your Omniframe, but you can now. You can pop your glider wings at any time. It consumes some jetpack fuel to do that, but you can sprout your wings. And so that became our travel mode. We didn't need skim anymore. And the light frames can go ahead and use their mounts and their bikes. For those of you lucky enough to have a dollar pack, you'll have a bike, which is a nod to Firefall. And then we talked about shield, armor, and damage types. Yes, we have shields. Then we talked about different types of damage. Melee damage, kinetic damage, energy damage, and splash damage. This may change. May have some changes to that. Tomix, I'm sorry. I know. You know what? I feel bad. Let's try this. Let's do $3 packs, Ronan, and let's hope that Tomix can win.
$3 packs.
We're giving you 3 more chances, and everyone else 3 more chances, Tomix, for the bikes and everything else.
All right. Looks like we still got the same group. No new people. So let's freaking try it. Faye, go for it. We're going to do 3 of them at relatively high speed. Post the raffle along with the pictures for those who need to see what they get. And take it away.
Alrighty. Let me bring up the graphic. This is the which pack are we doing again?
This is the dollar packs.
Ah, almost brought up the wrong graphic.
Yeah, Mao, we covered. You can look at our last stream for Unreal 5. We did learn since then that Unreal 5 does not add to the download size. It actually packs meshes more efficiently than Unreal 4, and if you use Nanite. And we are going to be on Unreal 5, but we may not use the Unreal 5 features because we don't want to slow our game down. So you can use Unreal 5 without using Nanite meshes, without using Lumen. So we're going to be looking at that. That's the short of it. The long and short of it.
Yeah, Mal, please ask more questions because I enjoy it when he says your name.
All right, are we ready? Here it goes. You mark get set, click.
So please join us on a Discord server where we do raffles. For those of you who are new, we are doing the Ember stream. We're talking about the vision book, which outlines sort of like the vision of the game. It was written some years ago, and then we're going through it now to see what changed, what stayed the same, and the meta has stayed the same. I'm really pleased with that. Some details have changed. Oh my gosh, Shadow! Congratulations!
What? All right. All right, Faye, let's move on right to the next one.
Don't forget to message Ronan.
Shadow
Yeah,
will be auctioning that pack any moment now. Thanks, Shadow. If you want to see what the old frames look like, you can go into main lobby media.
On your marks, get set, click.
We're all rooting for Tumix. Come on, Tumix. He wants that bike. $51 people here. Odds are 1 in 51 that Tumix wins. Sai wins. Sai's gonna
Wow,
be like,
congratulations.
Sai's gonna be like, but I can't steer with this mouse sensitivity. I'm joking. We will be in contact once Harry's back from his Burning Crusade vacation. I'd like to talk to you about mouse sensitivity.
Okay, let's do that third one.
All right, we're doing another raffle now in Discord. If you'd like to join us, the last dollar pack of this round. I'm not saying there won't be more. All dollar packs are fully upgradable, but they do unlock a bunch of launch stretch goals all by themselves.
Oh, that's cool, Shadow.
Oh, did Shadow just grant his pack to Tomix?
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh! This is the best community.
Congratulations, Shinsei Kute.
Shinsei Kute. Congratulations. And congratulations to Tumix. Or Tomix. How do you pronounce your name? Tumix, Tomix? Is it T like T-O-O? Or Ta like T-A-H? Tomix. Tomix, like comics. Rhymes with comics. Okay. Now I won't forget. Tomix 11.99. Congratulations. I guess you'll be logging now. It's nice to have you. And Shadow, thank you for that tremendous generosity. That was awesome. We have the best community team and the best community. All right, so we talk about how there's progressive damage to your different systems. I don't know if this will still be a thing. I think it might be too much detail to say, oh, your jump jets are damaged. I don't know, maybe we will. Because I wanted it to feel, your mech to feel like a vehicle, right? So having different components take different amounts of damage based on hit location or something. Maybe that's something post-Kickstarter we'd look at. but that's interesting. Maybe. That detail may change. Creating custom frames, that still holds. Power allocation. That we've talked about this forever. We still plan to do the ability to shunt your power to different things like movement speed or abilities and weapon systems or to your defensive systems. That's still a thing. In fact, we're talking about it, implementing it for Kickstarter in the demo and how we're going to do that. So that's something we're actually talking about right now. Slots, there's upgrade slots. Yes, that's the same. You won't see that in the playable mockup, but we will have a UI example screen that we just, Photoshop up that shows you what that might look like. And power cost. There is only one constant in Ember's upgrade system, and that is the total power cost as players upgrade components. Each upgrade, in addition to require a free slot, and the Omniframe also carries a power cost. The power cost is the amount of power consumed by the upgrade. Yep, that's determined by your reactor core. How much power? The larger frames have more power available, that sort of stuff. Operational AI, that's a new section we added a while ago. We talked about how there's a little AI that accompanies you that you can manifest in the world, and there's an example of the art here of one of the OP AI skins you can get in our ketchup pack raffles, or that you can, or that monthly patrons earned early on. Then we talked about resources and crafting. There's common ore. Common ores are plentiful elements. Isotopes are rare. Phased ore, unique to Ember. Phased ore is extracted from the Sihu. Yeah, that's still going to be a thing. The lore behind it's a little different, but basically there's elements they have that you don't have. And, proto elements or whatnot. And you can go into their world and get them. Or you can fight kaiju, or you can fight them and get them. Artifacts. Ember was once a thriving world inhabited by Sihu. Well, that changed. Ruins of ancient Sihu cities are buried under eons of planetary change. That's changed. But there is another ancient race there. I'll just say that the idea is still there, but who they are has changed. That's new information that people don't know. World tier, we already talked about that, how players advance the world tier together by terraforming and crafting and building the world out. We talked about tiers and blueprints. I don't see any of that changing. Kaiju, there's different kaiju types, different categories of kaiju. We were pretty vague about it here. Since then, we've introduced the idea of Kaiju Prime, which are the 7 named kaiju of the world that are unique. Crotus is one of them on our YouTube channel. You can see that if anyone wants to post the Crotus link from our YouTube channel, you're welcome to. Tsihu enemy types, there's humanoid and beast. Then there's some variants. We added a grappler variant. There's kaiju enemy types. They go from category 0, which are the smallest kaiju, really tiny things, all the way up to cat 5, which is epoch events, zone-wide or planetary-wide threat. That would probably be a kaiju prime. And implementation. We'll build up enemy variety in stages, depending on scope and funding. The first ones we worked on will be the Tsihu in both stock, humanoid, and beast form. These will make an appearance in the playable encounter mock-up. After that will be Category 1 Kaiju and Attacks the Thumper. From there we will build more variants as time and budget allows. Okay, none of that has changed. Events. Some of the greatest fun players experienced in Firefall were world events. Devs jumped into play. Fast forward to 2019, and Fortnite events are also popular. Yeah, I think this was written actually in 2019, not earlier. If there's an earlier copyright, it's from when the game started. But this is where we laid out the PDF. Without a doubt, episodic and regular content events are a great way to keep player base engaged. Ember will feature world events regularly as a primary way to move the lore and story forward. Yeah, I still want to do that. So that when it's time to drop a new expansion or whatever, we would like a world event to drive that. A world event may feature a special boss, a specific goal, or introduce a new kaiju to tell a story. Okay. And that is the whole vision book. There is something that we're adding. The ability to go through a rift, and this would be post-launch, to go through a rift and to hunt specific kaiju for the stuff you want. That part I think is going to be important for a number of reasons, but it's a post-launch thing. That is a big change. And I don't want to say it's for launch because we didn't put it in the vision book. So it's not a launch feature. But rifting. I like that term, Ervin. Rifting. Rifting will be a thing. Geyser God says there are two different ones, one from 2017, one from 2019. Okay. Oh, yeah. Events might have been added. You're right. So we might have updated it. Well, okay. Well, in that case, I'll let it stand as historical record. So how do we do? We're pretty much on target for... We haven't changed too much. Just some details here and there. Everybody have a better sense of the game after going through the vision book with me today? Will Thumper encounters be infinite as an endless escalation, or will it be capped? No, there's a maximum to a Thumper encounter, where you can't just keep it going infinitely. But there will be progression in Thumper encounters, so that you can, as you go for rare resources and things like that. I want the Thumper encounter to evolve and change, so that the mechanics change slightly to keep it fresh. Okay, so no surprises? Good. This is our target. It has not changed. Now we're executing. We've been doing a build every week or every 2 weeks. It's going to continue around this pace. We did drop streams back to once a week. We only stream Thursdays now, because we want to free up more time. Give us an extra half day. Actually, these streams are, I'm not an extrovert. A lot of people think I'm extroverted, but I'm actually very much introverted, and it takes a lot of energy for me to put myself out there. And I'm really tired after these streams. So, and I need to get sun. Like, I feel like I've been cooped up all day after a stream, because it's really dark here for all the lighting and stuff. We have the curtains closed. So I like to go out and for a drive. And sometimes I'll drive down to Guitar Center, play guitar there, check it out, buy some picks, that type of thing. Jedi knows what I mean. There is a CSR skin coming out on the 15th. I think it's going to be a pretty hot one. I told CSR to make it a little spicier this time. I don't know what I haven't seen any rough drafts yet, so I don't know what that means.
Uh-oh.
But I said, you know what? If we're doing waifu, let's go make it a little extra spicy this time. Let's trigger some people. I don't know. Now, obviously, it's not going to be anything like no nudity or anything like that. We don't do that. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we can up the spice factor. Now you killed it. You can rule 30 for it. If you want to commission a nude version of it, go right ahead. Just let us know where to find it. But we don't want people thinking this is subspace. I actually bought Subspace because it's a $2 million Kickstarter, right? I'm like, that's massive. I got to see what this is about. And there's actually gameplay. I was shocked. There's actually gameplay, and it's decent. In fact, I would say there's more gameplay than actual sex scenes. Like the gameplay feels more fleshed out than the sex scenes to me, which is maybe backwards from what fans were expecting, but I don't think anyone's disappointed by gameplay, right?
Fleshed out.
Fleshed out. Oh, no. All right, Faye, thank you for the update. So there was a revision book issued in 2017, and there's a new one in 2019. Well, this is the year of the Kickstarter, folks. We are going full bore. We're pulling the trigger. We are executing. We are this close from a Thumper encounter. There are an immense amount of art resources that still have to be built. We have to get not playable, but we have to get, bases built. We have to get Crotus to a degree where he's stomping through the bases. So any help on that is appreciated. If you want to purchase a subscription or a newcomer pack, yes, Kickstarter is this year. Then that's going to go directly towards accelerating those goals. Geyser God says, I'm one of the backers for Subverse, and I can say they're supplying what they said they would. Yeah, Geyser God, I was pleasantly surprised. I like the gameplay. And, but I will say that, of what I've seen so far, I think I got to like one sex scene in the game, and it just seemed like a very simple thing. I hope they flesh that out a little more. Oh, geez, did I say that? I didn't say that. Rewind, edit this out, retract the comment.
We haven't got one of those Men in Black flasher thingies to work on stream yet. We're
Damn it. Gun damn it. The mechs are customizable. Broken Hobox asks in Twitch, will the mechs be customizable? Yeah, they are. But we separate functionality from skins, except for weapon hardpoints, right? So the way a frame looks, if you play front mission, the skin and the capabilities of the armor piece are tied together. We separate the two because that's our business model, is we sell skins direct. So you can skin your mech how you want it to look. But what you craft for the mechanics that you put in is separate from how it looks. The only exception is hardpoint weapons. So if you're carrying a missile rack, it's going to look like a missile rack, right? Grums, nudie mods for Ember allowed? No one else would see them because they'd only be client-side Tomix. So, I don't know if that will break our anti-cheat. Right now, it wouldn't. But we are an MMO, so modding is limited, right? MMOs don't let you mod the client very, very much because everyone's got to be on the same server. I should go back. Have they updated Subspace? I should go back and check it out, see if they changed anything. Oh, Shadow asks, can we get the audio of Deep Stripe back? Okay. Yeah. We still have the audio of it. We should put that Easter egg back in. We lost it when we switched to Wise. You guys remember you funded our switch to the Wise sound engine, and we just didn't get it in there. Subverse. What do I keep calling it? I thought I was calling it Subverse. Subspace. I was calling it Subspace, wasn't I? Subverse is the name of the game. Does the name really matter in a game like this? I don't think so. I can't believe this stream has turned into a Subverse stream at the end. That's all we're talking about. We just spent 2 hours going through the Ember Vision book, and then it's all about Subverse at the end. Emberverse. All right, everybody. It is the top of the hour. This is when we end the stream. We're going to go out here with a bang, though. I think we're going to raffle away. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna pick one. Going to go to our website here. Going to go to our newcomer packs. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're doing an Archon pack, Ronan. We're going to end the stream with an Archon pack. So get in here, everybody. Get into Discord.
All right, just a minute while Faye grabs the graphic. Archon pack.
There we go.
There it is, the Archon pack.
Jedi wants to dual wield Archon packs.
This is one of those moments where Grums is feeling good.
It's been a good stream. I'm very pleased going through the vision book. I was worried. I was like, how much have we changed? I was talking to Ronan and the team beforehand. I was like, did we change a lot? And I'm glad to see we really haven't. Not in any meaningful way. Like we've stuck to the vision.
Exactly. Sorry, I've got some giggling in the background over here. All right, Faye, let's do this. Do people need more of a chance to get in? Do we have everybody who's coming? Twitch people, are you over here? If you're coming, you better hurry up. It's a big pack.
You got 60 seconds to get in here.
I would say hearing the vision book gone through by Grums himself is pretty sweet. And yeah, very little has changed in the grand scheme. It's one of the most, I would say, out of the many design documents I've seen after any real amount of pre-production or production, this is one of the most unchanged I've ever seen. So that's pretty good.
For better or worse.
Right.
It's all going according to plan, yes, Jedi. Witness the power of this fully operational battle station.
He's gone full dark side. We all knew it was coming.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
I think everybody's here. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Set. Click.
Old Man Winter. Isn't that a song? Ooh, I can feel the tingles whenever it's a big pack like this. Oh, the tingles.
All the tingles.
Raffle ASMR.
Owl Knight, congratulations. Who
Oh
won?
my goodness. Congratulations, Owl Knight. Nicely done.
Yes, sir. What you're gonna do is you're gonna send me a private message right away. You're gonna say, "I'm Owl Knight," just because I like your name, and you're gonna be like, "I won an Archon pack. Here's my Ember ID, and I will make sure that you get your pack."
I just want to sing all night long now.
Owl Knight won.
All night one. There we go. All night one.
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations on that pack. That was a big pack. Hey, so this is the time where we usually end the stream, and I thank the community and the devs who have put so much work into this. But actually, I'm going to thank the community today. You guys have really made all this possible. The vision book is coming true. We get closer and closer to it with every week now. So give yourselves a round of applause for being an awesome community. Shadow also for donating that pack to Tomix. I got the pronunciation right. And community, congratulations for just being awesome. And please congratulate and show your love for our awesome community team and our developers who work so hard on all this stuff. Let's see some hands. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, everyone's doing a tremendous job. Summer is starting, so I suppose we should have a bikini event in Ember soon.
Owl Knight, thank you for following the instructions. You are amazing. Awesome.
Yes, this will be the beach episode of the anime, the Ember anime.
Oh no.
Of course, all you'll get is my VTuber, because that's the way it works here. It's all bait and switch.
It's just all bait and switch.
Bikini event. Yes, you get Grums in bikini. Congratulations.
Oh no.
Baywatch edition. Yeah. We always shy away. We always say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do bikinis," and then we pull back. Not this time. I told CSR, let's make it a hot skin. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. So remember, if you go ahead, Ronan.
I'm just gonna say, Miss, do you keep your navel to yourself, young lady?
We never go full subverse here, even though we threaten to. There is a threat of lewdness that hangs in the air. Like assless chaps, but we always twist it, and we always it's like Lucy yanking the football away from Charlie Brown right at the end there. We must go beyond Subverse. Yeah, welcome to the Subverse fan stream. It's totally changed. Well, I had a lot of fun going through the Vision book with you guys. Thank you so much for letting me do that. I was dreading going through it because Ronan's stuff like, hey man, I think some stuff has changed. Have you looked at it recently? I'm like, no. So like, you know what? Let's do it publicly. What could go wrong? And it went well. It went very well. I'm very happy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will be back to doing builds either end of next week or the week after that. Please join us for that. And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, the community. And through the community, thank you, community team. Thank you, developers. Let's keep going here. Let's make it happen. Kickstarter this year. We are plowing ahead as fast as we can here. Thank you, everybody, and peace out.